Hello, this tutorial is to discuss about a Python tickender application to connect with a database. We have to use a student table with the fields roll number, name and age. And our GUI should have 4 labels for roll number, name and age and 4 entry controls for entering the details. And we have 3 button controls which are save, display all and clear. On click of the save button, the content of the text box should be saved into the student table. And on click of display all button, display all the content of the student table within a notepad. And on click of the clear button, we should clear the entire content of the text boxes. For doing this particular Python application, we are going to use the tickender module for designing the GUI, and for creating the backend database and the table, we are using MySQL. So for this particular application, first we are creating a database and a table named as student within the MySQL. First we are creating a database. To create a database in MySQL, we have to use the command create followed by database followed by the database name. So here we are using the database name as DB. Now to use the database, we have a command use followed by the database name. Our database name is DB. Now we are creating the structure of a table, student table. So the command is create table, table name is student followed by a open bracket. It should be followed by the details of the different fields. The first, the field name, its type and various attributes which is required for this particular field. So we have to create 3 fields. The first is roll number. Its data type is written as varchar of 20 and we have given as the primary key for that. And the next 2 fields are name and age. Name is a varchar of 20 characters and age is an integer number. So the table has been created. So before doing this particular application, we have created a database and a table which is named as student within MySQL. Now in the Python, we are using the pymysql module for connecting to the database, and a tickender package we are using, the tickender module we are using for designing the GUI. We are importing various requirements for the tickender module. First, we are writing the logic for different controls. First, we are writing the different function logic which is required for our program. We have 3 buttons. One is save, one is display all, another one is clear. We are assuming that we have 3 different variables associated with our entry controls, which are roll number, name and age. So the roll number, name and age variable can be changed by using the set method. So in the clear function, we are using the set method for the various variables to change its value, and we are making it as null. Now we are writing a save function, a user-defined function save, for writing the logic for the save button. So in the save button, we have to connect to our database, and the content of the entry control should be inserted into the database table which is named as student. For that, first we have to connect to our database. For connecting to our database, we can use the pymysql package followed by a method. The method name is connect. We have to pass different parameters for the connect. The first parameter is all parameters depends upon our database, details regarding the database. So user is root, which is the username of our MySQL, and password, whatever password we have mentioned for our MySQL have to be mentioned. And the host is the local host, which is the IP address or the machine name where our MySQL is residing. Here my MySQL is residing on the same machine where our program is writing. So we are writing as localhost as a host name, and our database name is DB. Once the connection has been established, the connection is stored inside a variable con. Now to execute any SQL queries, we require a cursor. So a cursor can be created from the connection as con.cursor. So we get a cursor which is saved in the variable cur. Now we are creating an insert query by using different variables are joined together to create an insert query. So we have written insert into student values. We have three values. All the three values are written with the placeholder as %s. If it is a varchar, the %s have to be enclosed within a single quote because of SQL syntax. Now we have written 3%s. Now these 3%s will get replaced by the respective value that is mentioned by using a formatting. In the percentage we have written roll number.get, name.get, and age.get. So the first %s will replace by the roll number, second %s will replace by name, and the third %s, which is an integer, so we have not used a single quote, and that will be replaced by the value of age. By using the cursor object, we can execute the query by using execute method. Query is stored in the variable SQL, and that will be executed. Once the query has been executed, we can make a permanent changes into the database by calling the commit method of connection, and once it is completed, we can close the connection. And we display the message box. In the message box, we can call the method show info. Two parameters are mentioned. The first will come into the title bar of the message box, and the second will come into the details of the message box. In the except block, if any exception occurs during the execution of these statements, maybe to connect to a database, creation of a cursor, executing of an SQL insert statement, or a commit statement, or during the closing of a connection, any error occurs, it goes into the except block and it will show an error message. In the finally, we are clearing the entire content of the entry controls. So we call the method clear, which we have already defined. Similarly, we are writing a user-defined method which is named as display all for the third button, which is display all button. In this method, we have to write the logic to fetch all the content of the student table, and it should get displayed within a notepad. So first we are connecting to our database by using pymysql package and connect method. We have to pass the parameter regarding our database details. The username of MySQL is root and password, and the host name should be the machine name, and the database name is the DB which we have created. The cursor has been created from the connection by using cursor method. Now SQL select statement is saved in the SQL variable select star from table name. Our table name is student. By using the cursor, we can execute the SQL query by using execute method cursor.execute of SQL. Once the SQL select statement has been executed, number of records which will be fetched from the database can be fetched from our cursor by using a method which is named as fetch all. So fetch all will retrieve all the records which has been selected by using the select query which is currently executed from the cursor. All the details which is fetched will get stored into the result, and it will be in the form of tuples. Now the results which is come from the database, we are storing inside a file. The name of the file is details.txt. We are creating a txt file, and for writing we are using W as an access permission. By using a for loop, we take each data from the result. So each rows will be taken and it will be written into the file. The tuple has to be converted into string before it has to be written into the file. The file has been closed and the connection has been closed by using the close method. By using a sub-process module, we can open the software with a particular file. We are opening the notepad and open the file details.txt, which consists of all the details from our student table. So we are using the program name as notepad.txt and file name as details.txt. popen method can be used to open a software with a program name and a file name. For a sub-process, we create a sub-process by using popen method. So program name is notepad.exe, so notepad will get open and the file which will get open will be details.txt. Any error occurs within the statements written inside the try block, it goes inside the except. So we display a message box by using messagebox.showInfo. Two parameters are specified. The first is information to be displayed on the title of the message box, and next the information to be displayed within the message box. Now by using the Tikinda module, we are designing the GUI. The TK constructor has been called for creating the window. We are creating a single window and our window name is W1. We can change the various different details regarding our window by using different methods. So we are changing the few methods, like we are changing the title of the window as my app. Similarly, we are changing the size, the width and height of our window by using geometry method. We can pass the width and height 500x 300 as a geometry, the size, the width and height of our window. We are using different string var for the entry control. We have 3 entry controls, so we are using 3 string var, roll number, name and age. These string variable will be associated with our entry control during the creation of the entry control. First, we are making a label. So within the label, we have to mention the first as window name. So our window name is W1 and the text to be displayed within the label, which is roll number. So roll number will be displayed within the label L1. The first entry control is named as E1, can be created by using entry. Here also the first parameter of any widget should be the window, and the next one is the associated variable name. Similarly, we create the next label L2 and the next entry control E2, and the third we have age as a label, and the text variable have to be changed as age. So totally we have created 3 labels with the text, roll number, name and age respectively. Similarly, we have created 3 entry controls with the text variable associated with that as roll number, name and age respectively. Now we have to create 3 button controls by using button. We are writing text to display the informations within the button, and the command indicates the name of the function should be called when the button is clicked. So the first button we call the function. We have already defined 3 functions as save, display all and clear. So respective function will get associated with the button control. We are creating 3 buttons which is named as B1, B2 and B3. All the buttons should be associated with the same window W1. The command has to be changed with the name of the function which should get called for each of the button. So we have the function as save, display all and clear for the respective buttons. All these controls which we have designed, 3 labels and 3 entry controls and 3 buttons, can be laid on the window by using grid method. In the grid method, we have to mention the row number and the column number wherein which the control need to be laid. On the first row, we shows the first label and the corresponding entry control. So L1 and E1 will be placed within the first row itself on different columns, column number 0 and column number 1. Similarly, we place the other controls, the second label and the second entry control on the second row on different columns 0 and 1. The third label and the third entry control, we place it on the third row on different columns 0 and 1. We are placing the buttons on the different rows. The first button, save and display all, we are placing it on the 4th row on different columns. Whereas the clear button, which is B3, we are placing within the first row itself on the second column. So we have already 0 and 1 for L1 and L2. So the button which we are placing on the first row itself on the second column, 0, 1 and 2. For handling the event management for our window, we have only one window W1. We have to call the main loop, which will allow our programs to process the Windows event management. It will wait for some event to occur, just like click, mouse event or any other event will be captured by our operating system and our window will be notified for that. So we have to call the main loop method for event handling. Execute and see the program. We enter some details, roll number, name and age. And click on the save button. The information will get saved into the database. We can verify our database to see that the information has been saved into the database or not by using select command. Select star from the table name. Our table name is student. We can enter a second record into the database by using save button once again. So the content of the entry control will get saved into the database. To display all the details of the database, we can use the display all button. Thank you for watching this video.